To me, humans are the easiest animal to track. Why? Let's talk about that. My favorite part of the track is the toe dig. The toe dig is my favorite part of the track because it gives me the most information with the smallest amount of area. It gives me speed or rate of movement. It gives me direction to travel, and it gives me age. Placement, matting, compression, impression. Our geometry of fire is constantly oriented on the bad guy. 30 inches, 30 degrees. Boom, there's my next nail. Two of you got it right. The number was 13. You will be tested and evaluated all day. And a lot of what I'm looking at is demeanor, character, leadership, communication skills. How did he communicate? How did he compromise? Make sure you have water and make sure you have electrolytes, because you're going to get wore out in this heat really fast because you do a lot of standing around. Tracking as a little boy, tracking quail, lizards, and all the small ground runners in the Sonoran Desert as a young Pascqua Yaqui Indian. All right, I was trained by my grandmother first. My first formal tracking school was I was 13 years old by a man named Willie Whitefeather. All right. So tracking goes back a very long ways for me, and it has served me in my life and my profession. I want to know who you are. Now, I don't want to know that you're, I'm the training sergeant for this department in the county, and, I'm here to validate. No, I want to hear who you are. That's important for me. What are you passionate about? What's exciting in your life? So that way I can understand who you are as a person. We can't out-track a dog. And that's some of the things we're going to get rid of, is that adversarial relationship between man tracking and canine tracking. Because there's a huge adversarial relationship that's existed for almost 50 years now. We're trying to compete with the dog. And that's never going to happen. We're never going to out-track a dog. But what we can do is supplement the dog's skills with intelligence. The A is nothing by itself. The B is nothing by itself, just a shape. But when I have a C, maybe that's a turnover rock. Maybe it's another crushed blade of grass. Maybe it's a displaced branch or a cracked branch or turned up soil or cracking. Okay? Now I have a C. Now I have an A, B, and C within the size and shape of a man's boot. Now I have language. Yeah, exactly. Something else could have done that, guys. Okay? And something else is doing that right now where we're going to train. Raccoons, wild boar, alligators, all those natural wild creatures and domestic wildlife and humans are out there moving on the earth. And if we get sucked into that, we're going to lose the trail. That kid's going to be out there another night and he's not going to make it. Okay, what today's going to look like, we're going to go to something called a spore pit, and I'm going to dig into animal tracks first, teach you the science of how we classify animal tracks so that you can discriminate between animal and human or contamination and your relevant trail. After that, we're going to get into human tracks. Hi, I'm Freddy Osuna from Greenside Training. We're teaching a course called Weaponize the Senses out here in Eastern Florida. We're going to be working with a small group of law enforcement and people with other various backgrounds, and we're going to be teaching them how to increase sensory awareness through tracking, teaching man tracking, a new set of language, and we're going to have a really good time out here. All right, let's get into it. I'm going to constantly tell you, you got to get up here, guys. All right, if you got bad breath, don't worry about it. I don't care. I'm gonna need you to be right up in here, looking really closely at what I'm seeing. All right. My goal is to get you to see a trail through my eyes. You learn the basics, right? And then you synthesize it into your own methods. I'll give you the basics. You make it better. Make it your own. All right. Just like you're shooting. Your shooting can be very personal, can it? It can be very personal to you. There's some things that you do that nobody in the world does. Okay? That's what I want you to do. I want you to make this very personal to you, but I'm going to teach you the basics first. Let's talk about animal tracking. Ever see these tracks? All right. These tracks right here, so the reference for this is James C. Halfpenny, North American Mammal Tracking. Okay? Like I told you, James Halfpenny is probably the foremost wildlife expert on foot impression and tracking of animals in North America. So this animal right here, all right, so we're going to talk the classification process, all right? I'm about to nerd out on you. You guys ready? All right. So the classification process for these animals first starts with how these animals walk. Is this a quadruped or a biped? Okay. Is it a digigrade, ungulate, or plantigrade? Okay. So this animal walks on all fours. So we classify that animal under quadruped. So quadrupeds walk on all fours. All right. Us humans are biped creatures who walk on twos. And there are some animals who are also bipeds. And there are some animals who are bipeds and quadrupeds. Right? So this animal is a quadruped ungulate. Ungulate is a hooved animal. Okay? This one is a cloven hooved animal, meaning it has a split hoof. Okay? Now look at this one here. These are ungulate. They're cloven hoofed ungulate, right? They're prey creatures. They have stereoscopic hearing. Their primary sense is the sense of smell. Secondary is hearing. Third is vision. They are quadrupeds. They walk on all fours. Their footwear has the same dynamics, same points, but these are more of a heart shape than the other. Now look at this one here. Rectangle. Perfect. Rectangle. In James Halfpenny's classification system, this type of animal, a canine, always fits into a rectangle. It has a long axis in length and a shorter axis in width. Okay? We don't go oval, we jump to a rectangle. Sound good? All right. So keep that in mind. Characteristics of a canine: toes are smaller in surface area. Larger in surface area compared to the main pad. There are no lobes present, maybe two on the outside for a canine. See the rear edge of the main pad, the big pad? The back side has only two lobes to the outside. So remember that. The toes are asymmetrical in size and shape, meaning they're not the same size and shape altogether. Claws may be present. I'm giving you all these rules, okay? All right. So let's figure out the next one, guys. We'll decipher this one together. Overall shape, where does this fit in? Rectangle, good. Claws present? Mm-hmm. Claws present. Toes in comparison to the main pad. Size. Bigger. Symmetrical in size and shape of the toes? Yeah. Asymmetrical. Good. Lobes present to the rear of the main pad? Kind of iffy, right? There's not three though. Right? Okay. So these are all clues that match what? Canine. Good. This is a wolf. This is North American wolf. Okay. All right. Another thing I want you to understand about this guy is the difference between a canine, a wild canid, and a domestic canid, for the most part, okay? Everybody come up tight. For a wild canid, you can do this. You can intersect without an X without intersecting the main pad. For most wild canids. Well, for all wild canids. But you'll get that weird animal, man. You know, that one weird animal in the zoo that the domestic one will do it as well. Okay? But all wild canids, you can make the X without overlapping the metacarpal pad. So let's figure out the next one, guys. So this fits into a circle. Outside, claws not present. But what's interesting, look at the toes. What can you tell me about the toes compared to the canine? They're symmetrical in nature. Very good. What can you tell me about the main pad in relation to the toes compared to the canine? It's larger in surface area. What can you tell me about the lobes to the rear of the main pad? There's 3. You see all these cool clues? You guys learned so much already this morning. Good job, guys.
The main difference between, so we've got coyotes, so the significant difference between looking at a wild dog and a domestic dog is going to be length of the nails, more or less.
Wild dog and a domestic dog? No, we don't want to look at claws. We want to look at the consistency to the model, right? We've got asymmetrical toes. We've got main pad smaller in surface area compared to the toes. So the center toes are oblong. 2 claws may be present in the center, most of the time not present on the outside claws. And we have the lobes typically not present in the main pad. And they all fit within a rectangle, okay? So in comparison, you want to look at how close does this model of a canine fit to my standard template. I gave you the template. When it starts to reach out of it, then you're dealing into the domestic animal field. Thank you guys. That is North American Mammal Tracks. I hope that helps you guys to discriminate and profile better in your communities. And I want to give you a couple breaks to drink some water while I set up the next exercise. Sound good? All right. Let's focus on the human track, and there's a lot we talk about the human track. So I want you guys to make sure you're in here real tight and you can see this. When a track is made, it's not made like that. This perfect cookie cutter stomp in the ground. Okay? When a track is made, it's made like this. What's the difference? Everybody see all that disruption? That explosion that happened outside? Just keep that in mind. A real track is placed with real pressure, with real destruction, with real unpredictability. Different parts of the track I want you to keep in mind. I have a heel strike. I have an instep. I have a ball and a toe dig. Heel strike, instep, ball, toe dig. My favorite part of the track is the toe dig. The toe dig is my favorite part of the track because it gives me the most information with the smallest amount of area. All right, it gives me speed or rate of movement. It gives me direction of travel, and it gives me age, how long ago that person was there. If you want to get down to say, hey, that guy was here yesterday afternoon, not just yesterday, he was here yesterday afternoon before it got dark. That gives me 18 hours, 14 hours, 20 hours, whatever. But you're able to whittle down time better than anybody else. All right, that's important for your job, is it not? Placing people within scenarios, within time and context, that's huge. Now in tracking, we use different tools, okay? We've got flashlights, we've got mirrors, okay? Say it's noon, okay? Or 12 o'clock, like right now. We don't have as much shadow as we will in a couple hours. So what we can do is the hat method. We can take a mirror and we can create more detail. And maybe we wanted to see more of that palladium. We can't see it in the light. What we can do is cast a shadow, and now we may be able to get more detail in the palladium so we can write that down or take a picture, okay? So that's the hat method. The first one I want you to see is this, the all-seeing eye. This track, when it's pushed back and the toe pushes back, you have a front surface going up that way, and then you have a back surface coming back this way. Where these two meet in the corners, see how these meet in the corners here? Those are the corners of my all-seeing eye back here, okay? Now this ridge of all this material that gets pushed back, I want a center of that ridge. That's gonna be right here. Next, I'm gonna take the center of the broken ridge. So sharp, 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 sharp stops. Sharp, 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 sharp stops. We're gonna take the center of that. Next, I'm gonna take the deepest portion of my toe dig, right in there. And then I'm gonna take all this material. Tell me the last piece of that dish they got kicked out of the toe dig when they see it.
Somewhere right there.
Right there. There's one point there to here. And I'm gonna take the long axis of all this material. And the long axis mathematically will line up with all my points. There's the bow, there's my string, here's my arrow, I fire it. That's a precise direction to travel. Our geometry of fire is constantly oriented on the bad guy. Traditional tracking is this. All right, there's a footprint. All right, let's find it. For this method, there's my direction of travel. Observation, orientation. Where's my rifle? Where's my optics? Where's my body armor? Where's my helmet? Where's my sensory orientation? Where's my drones? Where's my dogs? But over time, statistically, we are more accurate on the trail. And when we do make contact, we're safer when it happens statistically. You're gonna go team on team, guys. All right. I'm gonna test you guys team on team, right? What I want you to do now is go ahead and take a 5-minute break, get some shade. We got chow coming up pretty soon. So this is the nail trail. Your job right here is to count every single footprint within my border to the end. The end is marked by that tracking stick sticking up in the air here, all right? So as you go, you're gonna find what you believe to be every single track. I'm gonna give you a clue. The average stride, left to right or right to left, is gonna be somewhere around 30 inches, okay? Every track is marked by a nail. It's all in here. That's your first one. 30 inches, boom, somewhere in here, okay? And I'll give you this one too because I'm a nice guy today. It's right there. Here's your next nail. Come see it. I'll give you 30 seconds. You better get moving and see it. All right, guys, you got it. Time now, 5 minutes. All right, hey, good job everybody. Just to reiterate, some of you didn't quite understand my directions. That's all right because we're gonna do this again. But I'm gonna tell you right now, 2 of you got it right. The number was 13. All right, so number's 13. I got 14, I got 13, 11. Someone had 17, somebody had 16, 4. So there's a wide range. All right, so hey, let's point them out, guys. So get on either side of me, don't go in the trail. First thing I do as a tracker, I look at the top atmosphere first. See this guy? Who saw that one? Yeah. That's my highest part of the atmosphere of the living. Okay, the first atmosphere I look at, or the first lens, okay? I put that first lens, that's the lens of the living. Why? Because the living is danger. When I see plants been disturbed and I think it's my enemy, I look down over that plant, and if I can't see a starburst collecting water and light, then that's been disturbed. So remember that starburst. I'm always looking for my starburst, okay? So this step here, 30 inches. So I take this, the average stride of a man is 30 inches, that's about right there. Take this, and I sweep with my eyes. Sweep, 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 boom. It's going to be within this fan in here. Bang, right there. There's my nail. And then I look down. The nail's not important. It's the indicators that the nail leads me to that is important. All right, so right in this area, I walked out and I put some cones out, okay? Pretty much what I did was what's called a micro tracking lane. I've got a cone here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're gonna grab a buddy and you two are gonna mark every single track en route somehow, okay? You're gonna mark every single track along the way. Every single left and right footprint. You cannot miss one. Then you're gonna walk to that cone and then you're gonna peel off. You're gonna leave your footprints at the end, peel off, and then come to your partner and you're gonna find every track together. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's do it. How you guys doing over here? Look at that fresh break. That's what you saw, all right? And then we got some good distortion matting. All here doesn't belong. Some of this has tension on it and that tension itself doesn't belong, does it? So you also have scraping on the top of there. Some bruising, 30 inches. Boom. 30 inches. Should be in here. You're on it, right? You're able to confirm what pattern eventually?
Yes, and I can see. Looks like where all the grass is laid down. Bro.
Yep, we call that a blaze. Check this out. I've got some nice. See that guy?
Yeah.
That's too fragile to be old. There's some fresh smashing there. Hey, yeah, we're wrapping up the day. We've just sent the students off to absorb for the rest of the evening what they've learned. Day one's just a lot of information. This is the beginning of learning how to become intimate with your environment. And becoming intimate with your environment in the bush is very important in order to maintain, sustain, and achieve officer survivability. So tracking is a gateway for that. Tomorrow we're going to pick this up and we're going to challenge them even harder. So stay tuned. We'll see you again.